What kind of solution did we propose for the cybersecurity threats mentioned earlier? In addition to all the threats, we all have a corresponding solution, such as data encryption, other than a complete event log. We also provide protection above level 2, and we provide the software and hardware overall protection mechanism. Next, let's see what we actually offer. First is advanced port security. In the device, there will be a static MAC table. If the MAC address is listed in this static MAC table, you can let him transmit. Our design is equipped with auto-learning mechanism. By using auto-learning MAC table, so users cannot key in the MAC address by himself. In addition, we also provide sticky MAC, where MAC can be fixed in a port. So through this method, we do not allow him to go to the other port, which belongs to the advanced port security control. We also have port shutdown timer for port security. When there is violating happen, attack the port security, we can do the port shutdown, which is a more advanced port security features. The other solution, we also support MAB authentication, where the verification is done via MAC address. Because in an industrial environment, there were so many PLC devices, and PLC devices does not support MAC authentication bypass. Because without MAB, basically we cannot use 802.1x feature. Or the other way, the PLC device must support this feature, but this condition has some difficulties. So, through MAB's feature, by using MAC verification, we can know that this PLC is certified. The next solution is multiple level user passwords. In this solution, we provide 3 authentication methods. The first is the local database, which is to establish secret accounts inside the switch. This method is too complex because each device must be set. We also provide centralized methods such as TagX and Radius, where we do the login authorization through the server. So this is the centralized management. We also support read-write permission control and password encryption. In addition, we also support authentication chain way. You can set the Radius authentication. Of course, it can also TagX first. Then the other way is AAA part. It is including login and enable, as well as account level part, as well as accounting event records. All of us know about FTP and also know that SFTP is secure FTP, which is encrypted FTP. Actually, the common firmware upgrade is not encrypted, but WoMaster support the firmware upgrade and also SSH encryption, where encryption length is 256 bit, but generally it is 128 bit. In addition to the security consideration, SFTP, Telnet, and SNMP are plain code transmission. If we emphasize the safety of the industrial environment, these transmissions are disabled. Our device has the disable function so that you can disable this plain code transmission. In SNMP version 3 is encrypted, but generally only 64-bit. And our device also supports 256 AIS encryption. Protection solution which is mentioned is belong to level 2 protection. The next part we will introduce level 3 and level 4 protection that we provide. The first thing to introduce is denial of service and distributed denial of service. From the figure we can see that denial of service is used to avoid a single point of personal attack. And if the attack is group attack and from different points, it is used distributed denial of service. Whether it is DOS or DDoS, all is necessary to fill the victim's resource so that he cannot provide his clients who serve him. For example, we use the ping way to fill up our bandwidth, so you cannot properly send and receive data. Have we mentioned before, by filling up your CPU performance, it can be paralyze your network. Next, what kind of protection do we offer for DOS or DDoS? First, we provide IP4, IP6 address check protection to distinguish between legal and non-legal IP. The second is the DDoS protection that just mentioned. LAN packet, IP source and IP destination are the same, then drop or block port. Also the null scan, if TCP packet values are 0, this is not legal. If TCP SYN service port is less than 1025, this is also not legal. Then ping attacks. A bunch of ping lead us to a bunch of replies, which is also need to be prevented. A bunch of SYNs, such as a bunch of TCP connection, has led us to always reply acknowledge, that causing busy CPU so that the others cannot connect. Next, we also provide Smurf attack protection. For example, the attacker made a broadcast ping, but his source is the IP of the victim, causing all the response return to the victim. It is allowing the victim to be very busy responding to these packets and unable to execute any other things. Finally, we provide different approaches to different kinds of DOS or DDoS attacks. Some of the attacks can be dropped, some of the attacks can shut down the port and provide different control modes for different situations. The last thing, we also provide IP-based access control lists. Generally, a small number of ports only have MAC access list control. WoMaster provide IP4, IP6 access control lists, where the packet from layer 2 to layer 7 can be controlled. It can be said that it can filter IP4, IP6 traffic, like TCP UDP, and even industrial Ethernet IP or Modbus TCP can be filtered too. From which port the ingress come in and egress out from which port, it can be set. In addition, we can also specify which IP is managed IP, only managed IP to access, to provide the highest protection. DHCP Snooping plays the important role of a firewall to ensure that its user get the IP that issued by the certified DHCP server in order to prevent DHCP attacks or error IP configuration. DHCP snooping data is very important. We also can do dynamic ARP inspection through it. Through dynamic ARP inspection, we can prevent ARP spoofing attacks. For example, ARP query sent by device A to device C, and device C should reply it. But in this condition, there is an attacker B pretend to be device C that reply to the query. It can be that device A thinks if attacker B is device C. We get through DHCP snooping IP MAC form to do the corresponding. Because this condition is wrong, so we can drop the packet off to pretend to be C's condition. This thing is very rare in the industry to provide such a function. IP source card is used to prevent IP address spoofing and to ensure that IP address is correct. For example, from this topology, there is IPP that sending the IP packet content is A. For this kind of situation, this may be some kind of attack. WoMaster provides complete protection through the software and hardware approach to ensure there is no attack. After describe the complete protection of Level 2, Level 3, Level 4 cybersecurity, let's take a look at the cybersecurity certification, how it is implemented and achieved. Our certification is ISA. This certification is called EDSA, Embedded Device Security Assurance. Because we are embedded, the certification is mainly to ensure that our products can withstand cyber attacks and there is no known security vulnerabilities. In addition, the IEC 6244341 and IEC 6244342 component suppliers should pay attention to the requirements. In product development requirements section, this is a representation of our product development and maintenance process, which is need to be audited, including the protection of non-vulnerabilities and to ensure the safety of the product offered. In technical security requirement for IACS components is about product in design. Your consideration in the implementation is able to meet the standards. Finally, the actual measurement pace to confirm known or unknown vulnerabilities have been the actual protection. In addition, we also cooperate with the Institute of Science and Information Technology for network security, pre-assessment, and pre-test to speed up our IEC 62443 certification. And this is our advantage comparison sheet from the viewpoint of cybersecurity and layer 3. Compare with Moxa, Rascom, Advantech, and Westermo, you can find the features we supported are much complete than them. For example, for the layer 3 features, even the Rascom supports, but it only supports on the few advanced models. For the thin type models, it does not support. However, we do support all features on both thin type and rack mount models. Also, you may find that the ERPS feature, typically other companies only support version 1, but we support version 2, can provide better solutions on the cyber security and cyber redundancy.